Back at it again, broadcasting high above all the rooftops in Cherry Creek in an undisclosed location near you. And we've got the Storm Cellar coming up. What? Yes, Steve and Jayme. And I mean, listen, their wines speak for themselves. And if you've heard their story, you've fallen in love with them just like I have. But we actually have them online right now. And this holiday offering, you won't even believe it. So the Modern Eater, that's what we're trying to do. We love to support local. We want to hear your stories. Reach out to me if you've got one or a product or something that you'd like for people to know about through the Modern Eater. It's as simple as reaching me, Greg at themoderneater.com. But in the meantime and in between time, let's do this. There they are, Steve Steese and Jayme Henderson. Good to see you guys. How are you?
It's great to see you too.
Hey,
This is awesome. So you're in Hotchkiss, Colorado by
Hotchkiss.
Paonia. And Hotchkiss is just, I don't know. I mean, my heart kind of lays in that region there, and it's just because there's so many great, just cool, down to earth, and then this entrepreneurial spirit that just goes throughout the area there. And then there you guys are. Can we just do? And I know a lot of people know you, but there are some that may not. Can we start at the beginning, guys, and just kind of give that little overview of the Storm Cellar?
Sure. Yeah, we have only been farming and making wine since 2017. We moved from the Front Range. Steve and I were both in the restaurant industry in the capacity of beverage directors, bartenders, events planners, managers, and so the whole gamut of restaurant, very wine focused, but not focused on making wine or farming. So it was a total life 180. We sold our house, basically put we went all in to really embrace Colorado wine, specifically wine that we would make out here. And we moved, like you said, out to the North Fork Valley here in Hotchkiss. And we farm about 18 acres right now. And we make white wines and rosés. And that's what we focus on.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. You've
Mhm.
followed a lot of it over the last handful of years, but
Yeah.
what a
I
crazy ride these last 5 years have been for us for sure.
and truly, I mean, coming from that hospitality and being on both sides, and Steve, you're kind of a modest dude, but just built this great wine program for Shanahan's, and you guys know your stuff. I mean, that's just the way that it is. And so, when we say Colorado wine, some people go, oh, Colorado wines. But what is that? I mean, are we cutting good road with Colorado wines? I mean, what's the deal? What's the state of the state for Colorado wines right now?
The state of the state. I like it. That's a
Yeah.
good phrase. We talk a lot about that. We get so many questions in the tasting room about similar things like that, and people get spoiled because they go to a region like Napa Valley or some region in Europe where they're super established and nobody's going in and planting an experimental acre of Gewürztraminer in Napa Valley anymore. Like those days are ancient history. The only way you're going to have a chance is you're going to plant cab and you're going to charge $100 a bottle for it. And so your odds of getting a good bottle of wine when you go to those major regions is pretty good. But once you leave those super established regions, it's just that the breadth of styles and quality grows dramatically. And that's not just Colorado. That's
Any emerging
any
region.
emerging region.
Hmm.
There's mom and pops that have been growing peaches for 30 years and they think, oh, we can try growing grapes too. There's hobbyists, there's serious. I mean, the spectrum is really broad. And the style of wines, experimentation is alive and well once you leave those established regions. People are trying to figure out what's going to work, what's going to grow, what's going to shine. I think that's
Hmm.
been a lot of our journey here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And you really, turning things up on top of the head. You're going into regions, and you're these tastings, and like this acclaim, these awards that you're winning. You got no business doing them. What are you doing that? I mean, how's that happening? First of all, congratulations. That was a compliment.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
But at
Um,
the same time, I know you guys don't like to talk about yourself, but award-winning wines coming right out of the Hotchkiss, Colorado.
we're super proud of what we're doing alongside our colleagues. I think there's just this big movement and push for quality wines and visibility. A lot of times you have to be your own megaphone and putting your wines in competitions and putting your wines out there for publications, giving them to tastemakers to rate them. That can be a nerve-wracking experience. But we're really proud of how our wines have shown and how they've been received even at our tasting room. And like we were talking a little bit earlier before we went live, the wines that we have in our pack today, they are all wines that have earned a gold medal or higher
Love it.
in an international or national and regional competition. So very proud of the wines that we have to talk about today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that. I mean, we'll jump in. These are Steve and Jayme, the Storm Cellar. Check out. Not only are they great winemakers, but they're great brand builders. I mean, I looking on, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are just doing it. You do
Oh,
such a
thank you.
great job. I've had the opportunity to visit multiple times and do some tastings on the property. But you're bringing these offerings to the masses. They're going out, and this was a shocker for me of what you're offering here. But let's just do it because it's a limited edition, and let's face it, there's what is it, 9 days left until the big day. But
Yes.
you know, listen, if you act now, you can jump in on this. Go ahead and talk about it if you would.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll talk about a couple and then Steve can talk about the other two. One of our favorites over the summer is this rosé. We'll go over here. Boom. Rosé of Chamberson. So Chamberson is a French American cold hardy hybrid variety. Really well known in the Northeast, but not. It's definitely emerging in conversation and in the sustainability and the delicious factor. So Chamberson can survive temperatures -30 below zero. Um, and it's sustainable for Colorado's volatile climate, you know, that we're seeing. Sorry, the cat is so distracting.
I love that cat. I
But
mean,
this is a dry rosé. It's very darkly hued. It's made from a grape that is called a Tanterier. So that French word means that the juice inside the grape is actually colored red. So to get, you know, in a normal winemaking, you know, situation, to get a nice little kiss of color to make a rosé, you have to have some skin contact to imbue that, you know, the clear juice with the color. But this is inherently brightly hued. This received a do this again, it's backwards. This
look at the
received
color on that baby right there.
Yeah, it mimics Pantone's color of the year, which is that magenta. And this received a double gold medal in the San Francisco International Wine Competition just a couple weeks ago, and was also awarded best in class for varietal rosé. We both just were kind of floored by that and super excited about the potential of this grape and the reality of this grape.
Yeah.
That's
San Francisco
magical.
International is one of, if not the most important wine competition, certainly the most influential and oldest that happens international competition in the United States. So it's always kind of nerve wracking to put your wines up against the entire world
Mhm.
in a blind tasting situation, but really exciting when wines come out on top, especially from a variety like Chambersin.
And from Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you have any left? Your supply must be very limited.
Yes, it was very popular over the summer, and we're actually putting a limit soon on our website for the amount that people can purchase. But it's a really big highlight in this particular pack that we have.
Yeah, so the pack is called the Colorado Gold Rush Holiday Set, right? Easy for me to
Yes,
say.
yes,
What's all in the Colorado Gold Rush pack?
yeah. So we have the Saint, that's not the Saint Vincent. We have the Rosé of Chamberson. We
Mhm.
also have a Gruner Veltliner. This is both of these were grown in Grand Valley, and in 2020 and 2021. You can talk about the other two.
Sure. Gruner just got a gold medal in this year's Colorado Governor's Cup competition.
Mhm.
And then we have two wines not from Grand Valley. One is a Riesling, dry style. This is from Ben Parsons of the Infinite Monkey Theorem fame. He has a vineyard now down in Dolores near Cortez, way down in the southwest corner of the state. And this is a dry Riesling that we made from that vineyard that just got a gold medal in the Jefferson Cup. And then we have our estate field blend from our vineyard here, a super unique one-off. It's a story in and of itself, this wine, but it's a blend of Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, and Sauvignon Blanc, harvested and produced under super unique conditions that also won a gold medal in the San Francisco International Wine Competition as well.
I
It's
mean,
also unique because we farmed this ourselves, and we farm it 6,000 feet above sea level. So it's just a super unique growing region, as you know. And we're really proud of that wine.
yeah, and only
Um,
because I do know the story of how you guys have just made the efforts to make those blocks, what you guys have done with them. and over the years and the obstacles that you've had to go over so that wine. I mean, I think it's worth 60 seconds, Steve, if you would tell the story of that wine.
Go for it.
Oh, sure. Well, there was a terrible freeze in the fall of 2020. It was the most dramatic incident that the Colorado wine industry has ever faced. Um, it was so big that it overshadowed the fact that the exact same thing happened the year before to a lesser degree. So our yields were way down in 2020. That combined with some other issues in our vineyard meant that we didn't have as much of a crop as we were hoping for. Some of the grapes in here, like the Sauvignon Blanc, for example, if we'd have bottled our Sauvignon Blanc by itself, it would have been 15 cases, maybe. That's just
Hmm.
a guess, 15 cases, 20 cases. And we're not really set up to do that small of production. So we decided to do what's called a field blend. Field blend to us has a unique meaning. It doesn't always mean this, but to us, it's to take all the grapes from the entire vineyard and harvest it all in one go. Well, usually it's done in a vineyard where the vineyard's planted with grapes that kind of all get ripe around the same time. You're kind of hedging your bets a little bit. Well, our experiment was to harvest our 4 grapes, and they do not get ripe at the same time. The Pinot Gris, the Chardonnay, can get ripe 4, 5, 6 weeks before the Riesling usually gets ripe. So if we had harvested when those grapes were at their usual optimal ripeness level, the Riesling would have been so underripe, it would have never worked. So we have to let those grapes hang and hang and hang on the vines longer than we've ever let grapes hang on the vine. So the Chardonnay and the Pinot Gris are getting super hyper ripe. And then you catch the Riesling just as it's just barely ripe. So you have to kind of free your mind of thinking, how ripe is the Chardonnay? How ripe is the Pinot Gris? How ripe is the entire vineyard? Then you harvest it all in one go, and it really balanced out as far as the numbers, the acidity, the alcohol. But
Hmm.
what's interesting is that on the front end, we've captured these hyper ripe flavors that we've never had in grapes before because
Mhm.
we've never let fruit get that ripe. But then on the back end, you get this super sharp acidity because the Riesling was just barely ripe. So it is a super unique taste for sure. Really
Hmm.
interesting wine.
Will you ever be able to replicate that? No,
No,
No.
that's it.
no.
That's
And that's
it.
what's so unique about it. It's the taste, it's this glimpse in time of
Yeah.
that you captured. And
It's
I'll
like a
say this.
memory capsule.
Yeah.
It is, and we do blends. We love to see what it's basically like building a cocktail or making like this perfectly balanced dish, and it's much easier to make that a blend post fermentation. Like
Yeah.
all like say you have those same four grapes, but they're all fermented separately. You have a lot more control. Percentage wise, maybe you add a little bit more of this, take a little bit away from that to have your result. But this was definitely something that we were tasting the grapes in the vineyard and in our mind's eye, creating that
Wow.
blend post or pre-fermentation. Little
For sure.
difficult.
And it's cool to look back on it because you've got the body of work of the story, but at the time you're probably like, "What? What's going on here? How do we do this?" You know?
Yeah,
How
definitely.
awesome is that? Now you guys have a secret garden, and I can't even believe as many do, I stalk you on your Instagram and check out the cool things that you guys do. Your stories are great. But stuff from your garden, what's popping here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
It's-
garden was out of control this year. I can take credit for doing a bunch of the construction of the beds out there, but the garden has been Jamie's absolute baby for the last 2 years. She gets a huge portion of the credit for the next treats we're going to talk about that are in this pack as well.
Yeah. I mean, gardening has always been what we love even in our backyard back in Denver. And it was one of those things that crazily enough, we would be, gardening maybe like, 100 different pepper plants, like 50 tomato plants. And we honestly said when we were looking at this property, if we can grow a backyard garden, we can grow grapes too. So that was a leap of crazy faith, and it took that insanity to make the jump.
Oh,
But
love.
but back to the garden. So back in Denver, every year we would make an herb blend, and it was just another taste of what our garden was doing. We would take herbs that we grew, dry them out. We had a dehydrator on the back porch constantly running. And so every fall we would assemble this, all of the dried herbs that we had, and we would taste it. And it was different every year. Sometimes it was more sage heavy, sometimes it was more, basil heavy. So we did the same thing. We had our dehydrators running all summer long. We have a backyard garden, and we also went nuts with starting a bunch of seeds. Um, we it was my fault,
Oh
but
my God, Jamie, show me already. Show me. I
I'm
got
showing,
show
I'm
me.
showing. Yes, so here's our herb blend. This is, it's a blend of parsley, basil, a little bit of oregano and thyme, and a little dried citrus from a Meyer lemon tree that we grew. So it's very herbaceous as you would expect,
Mhm.
extremely aromatic and a little citrus kick. So
Can you write Greg on that one? That's mine. I'm buying that one.
we can totally send you one. Yeah.
I would love that. But other people can do the same that I want to do. And you guys listen, I was gonna do 5 minutes with I can't do 5 minutes with these guys. They're so interesting, they're so talented, they have great things to offer us, and this is Colorado at its finest. So if you
Well,
could
thank
just
you,
tell
Greg.
people how they can get these offerings as well and jump on this now. It is a limited edition. And as you can see, this is Jamie's love from her garden.
Yes. So we also have that hot pepper blend, and we have two Riedel glasses. So we have these glasses that are crystal. Steve's giving you the up close. But as far as like where to get these, you can visit our website, stormcellarwine.com. We're the ones that pack the boxes up. They are shipped directly from our home here in Hotchkiss. And think about it as a way to welcome the new year too. That we will have we have a limited amount. We have about 20 left, and yeah, we're happy to ship them to 40 states.
And there's more. No, there's no more. That's it. But what I would encourage people to do is get to know these guys, and I would assume you have a wine club.
We
We
do.
do. We have a 6 bottle wine club and a 12 bottle wine club. We ship them out twice a year. They're all personalized, specifically chosen by us. And yeah, and you can even gift those wine clubs now. We have that option on our website. And if you have any trouble, you can always reach out. We're the only two that will be talking back to you. So
It's
we're
just us.
very personal experiences.
That's awesome. I love and admire these guys. I wish both of you a very safe and warm holidays. And
Thank you.
look at it. I can't wait. I have a video that I will be releasing. I toured the property again this last July. I mean, what, Greg, why is it taking so long? In the next couple of weeks, I promise I'm going to release this video, but you'll get to be able to see a tour of the property. And also, if you go to themoderneater.com, there's a little search bar up there. In that top search bar, you just plug in the Storm Cellar. It's very easy. We've got a lot of videos that we've done with these guys. They're just so fun and again, so talented. Stick around there. I'm going to put a ribbon on this baby. You guys, thank you for your time today for sure. Okay.
Thank you so much,
Happy
Greg.
holidays,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Absolutely. And again, guys, this is why I do this. These are the stories of the men and women of Colorado, and these are the businesses. You see the passion, you see the pride that they have in their work. And honestly, I can't think of a better gift, whether it's now for the holidays or above and beyond. Check out their wine club, check out all of their socials. I'll put that down below here. And their website, it's got so much information, and follow their journey just as I have as well. If you'd like to talk to me and be featured on The Modern Eater, do that. Reach out to me, Greg at themoderneater.com. But in the meantime and in between time, we're going to call it quits now. And we'll be back with more of these stories for you. And check out themoderneater.com and our other socials as well, Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you down the road.